Greetings for the day. Welcome to another session of Cyber Law and Ethics. My name is Mohammad Rahmat Ali. In today's session, we are going to learn about the IPR issue. But before we start our today's session, let me revise what are the things that we have studied in the previous session. In the previous session, we studied about how to prevent cybercrime and what are the factors related to preventing of cybercrime. So in today's session we'll continue the same thing and we are going to study about the IPR issue. IPR stands for intellectual property rights. Now what do you mean by intellectual property rights? Intellectual property rights are those things if any of the person or any of the organization or any of the community has made something unique for themselves and it is being used by others without taking the permission, then that becomes intellectual property. And if at all if somebody is violating that particular thing, then it comes under intellectual property rights. Or in other ways you can say, if any of the patents or any of the trademark or any of the logos or any of the scientific research, if any of the research paper or if any of the scientific discovery is being reused without the prior permission or without giving the credits to the owner, then that comes under the IPR issues. So what are the things we are going to see in today's session? What are the issues related to IPR and what are the different means by which IPR is being done, like intellectual property is being breached or how it is being misused, and what is the actual need of IPR in India. Okay, now let me start. IPR issue, the protection of intellectual property right or IPRs, for example like patents, trademarks, copyright, trade secrets and the like has changed over the last 2 decades from an obscure nation regulation issue to a hotly debated global issue. Now why it is being considered so much? For example, like if any of the person has done something, let me take an example of our video or our the medium by which we are communicating, which is YouTube. If at all somebody is copying any of the data from other YouTubers without giving the credits or without informing the previous YouTuber or the original container of use content creator, without taking the permission, if at all if you are using that content, then that particular content will be copyright claimed. It will be claimed by the original creator, stating that it is my property which this person has used without my permission. Now what are the things, what are the views that comes from that particular video is being credited to the original creator in the terms of financial needs, in terms of earnings due to it has been created or it has been credited to that particular original content creator. What it says now, in the last 2 decades, this has been the most debated topic in the IT, like in the IT sector. Whether it might be related to security measures, whether it might be related to privacy measures, whether it might be related to the intellectual things, or whether it might be related to the logos or the trademarks used by the different companies. Okay, some of, like if at all if I say in this way, like if at all if you see Adidas is there, it's an original company, and you have something company called as Abibas. The names look similar, but there are two different companies. So if at all the Adidas would claim this particular business, then it will be a legal case on them. Like it should not sound the same one. It should not sound the same one. It also should have a different registration. With it cannot be used. The logo cannot be used in their private, like personal use. Same comes with the promotion of different ads. If somebody has shooted a particular ad for a particular product, then it cannot be retelecasted without the permission of that particular actor, because it will be a contract for some particular time, for only for 6 months, 8 months, 1 year, 10 years, or whole lifetime. Any of it can be anything. So if at all that company is misusing that particular thing, then that comes under the IPR issue. Now what it says, it is a very complex issue to summarize, as there are quite few strands, but behind all these strands there is one central new world economy phenomena. Now further moving, although India is on its track of advancement in various sectors, there are many issues that have not come into light. One such sector facing issue is intellectual property rights. IPR involves patent, trademark, copyright, designs and geographical indicators. Although there are governing rules and acts for these rights, there are many issues that are addressable. Now see, any of the government or any of the governing body will make the rules for any of the new issue which is coming. Now coming towards the digital currency, whether to use the digital currency or not, whether India will accept the payment in bitcoins or not, whether paper money will be valid in the future or not. So it is all with reference to the governing body. So the rights will change, and when the rights get changed, or when new things come into picture, there will be some of the rules and regulations for that particular part. So now it will be mandatory for everyone to accept that particular rules according to the company norms. In the same way, IPR is becoming a major concern in India. But because with reference to many of the research with researches which has been done in India, only 7% or 9% are valid research, and other 97 to 93% of the research is either being copied from someone, or the idea is being taken from other person, or it is being enhanced in some of the way, but the concepts remain the same. So this is the thing. So for this particular thing, IPR is being taken seriously in India. Now what is the need of IPR? Like we have seen what IPR is, now we will see what is the need of this particular IPR. It says the progress and well-being of humanity rest on its capacity to create and invent new works in the areas of technology and culture. Now it does, it encourages innovation. It encourages innovation. Why? Because why it encourages innovation? Why? Because if at all if I am copying some other's work, then it will be a copied work. It will not be a genuine work. There will be no innovation, there will be no discovery on that particular thing. Like somebody has invented a bulb. With the same bulb, we have invented an CFL. With the same thing, we have invented an LED. In the same way, we have invented some other solar bulb. But the bulb remains the same. But the bulbs remain the same. But the thing or the innovative thing that is being used will get changed. There used to be a what do you call as a film or what do you call it as a fragment in the round coin in the bulb. If at all that goes down, then the bulb will not work properly. Now if at all you see the CFL bulbs and LED bulbs, it lasts long for 1 year, 2 years, or for thousands open and close, for 10,000 open and close. This all will remain. They will give you guarantee and warranty of 1 year, 1.5 years, and these products are a bit costly. So it encourages innovation. So what it says with reference to encourage innovation, the legal protection of new creation encourages the commitment of additional resources for further innovation. Now further it deals with the economic growth, as well as like see, when there will be innovation, there will be economic growth in every other aspect of a society. Now the promotion and production of intellectual property spurs economic growth, create new jobs and industries, and enhances the quality and enjoyment of life. Okay. Next one is with reference to safeguard the right of creators. Like this is the obvious thing why IPR has been needed. IPR is required to safeguard creators and other producers of their intellectual commodity, goods and services by granting them certain time-limited rights to control the use made of the manufactured goods. It can be any of the type of goods, whether it might be an eating good, whether it might be a beauty related product. It can be anything. Further, it says it promotes innovation and creativity and ensures ease of doing business. Further, it facilitates the transfer of technology in the form of foreign direct investment or FDIs, joint ventures, and licensing. See, when you're coming with innovative things, the people will invest in your project. There are a lot of things which are coming, and new ideas, new ideas, and everything is coming into the investment. And people are taking interest in this particular thing, and they are making a lot of investments in this particular thing only due to the intellectual property. Because if at all it is unique, if at all it is new in the market, everyone will accept it, and everyone will be experimenting on that particular thing. Now, what are the objectives of IPR? The first one is IPR awareness, outreach and promotion to create public awareness about the economic, social, and cultural benefits of IPRs among all sections of societies. Further, generations of IPR to simulate the generation of IPRs in the sense, for example, like bulb was invented. Now, in the what we call as further day to come, there will be a lot of inventions related to bulbs, related to lights, related to different things. Like if you see now light bulbs and everything are being connected to IoT, you can switch on and switch off the light anyway across the globe if it also connected to the network. Now there is a lot of difference, like when bulb was invented and now the bulb is being switched off. There is a lot of difference. So there is a generations. In the same way, with reference to intellectual property rights, until when the property rights will be done with reference to that particular person or with reference to that particular owner. This also will be set in this particular thing. Next one, with reference to the legal and legislative framework, it says to have strong and effective IPR law which balance the interest of right owner with the larger public interest. Further, administration and management to modernize and strengthen service-oriented IPR administration. Commercial or commercialization of IPRs to get value of IPR through commercialization, and to enforce an adjudication to strengthen the enforcement and adjudicatory mechanism for combating IPR infringements. Further, human capital development. This is very important, to strengthen and expand human resources, institution and capacities for teaching, training, research and skill building in IPR. So these are the objectives of the IPR. Now what is the current IPR issue in India? It says complexity in the basic structure pose certain difficulties and challenges, but in any sector of the economy. Further, Indian IPR industry is quite complex and hence faces its parts of challenges. Okay, now here is a list of major IPR issues in India facing in the current scenario. There are a lot of scenarios. Now, before starting this particular thing, with reference to the current situation in IPR in India, there are its own benefits and there are its own advantages and there are its own challenges. Because every of the law cannot be implemented at any of the place. Okay, India is totally a different country, whereas US, UK, Australia and the European countries have a total different people. In India, the people are in such a way that they reuse things in many of the formats, in many of the ways. But in across the globe, the reuse concept is not that much. So, with reference to the IPR issues, whether it might be related to copyrights, whether it might be related to patents, the things will be reused in different ways. The concepts remain the same, but the the idea will differ, or the things in implementation will get different. Okay. Now further it says the major changes from process to product patent. Where it says although India is a part of World Trade Organization and a signatory of the TRIPS, which is abbreviated as Trade Related Aspect of Intellectual Property Rights, Therefore, the change from process to product patents made in order to meet the TRIPS agreement requirements. Further, as the name suggests, a product patent protects the end product while the process patent protects the manufacturing procedure of a product. Now, see, this is very important. Before we move forward, I'll tell you a small story with reference to the patent rights and major changes from process to product patents. Pepsi and Coca-Cola, these two are the rival companies in terms of soft drinks. At one instance of time, either Coca-Cola or Pepsi, their core team member or some of the employees from either of the company, they tried to sold their formula of a particular soft drink. But against company, either it might be Coca-Cola or Pepsi, they suited a case against those people, stating that these people are, saying the company secrets to others. This is against the intellectual property right. Now, consider the same situation in India. What would have been the case and what would have been the results? The results would have been totally different. So, the implementation of the rules and implementation of logic on different places and different countries are totally away from one another. One thing cannot be similar to another in another place, though the conditions or though things are same, but the mental state of people is very much different. So, with reference to the intellectual property rights for process and product patents, there is a lot of things. The process and the manufacturing procedure should be monitored, and it should be different. Basically, it should be different, and all of things will have a major things. Now, this reduces monopoly in the market in a developing country like India, where IP work as a major source for monetization. So the next one is with reference to Section 3D of Indian Patent Act. What it says, it deals with the matter of evergreening of patents. Second says, this section poses an issue because it doesn't allow the renewal of patent over a product by introducing minor changes to it. Further, the court asked the MNCs to actually bring about considerable effect or efficacy, therapeutic efficacy, to receive patent protection for already existing patents. So this is with reference to Section 3D of Indian Patent Act. Further, Section 84 India Patent Act, it says, this act is one of the major IPR issue in India. It deals with compulsory licensing, which compels companies owner holding patent to mass produce some drugs. With reference to the recent pandemic, you understand with reference to what happened to Bharat Biotech and other companies. They wanted to develop the medicine or vaccination for COVID-19, but the government didn't give them the order. If at all they invest the money in that particular company, they can produce a lot of immense amounts of vaccine in India. But the things is being in a different way. Anyways, then the next one is with reference to, this is posing an issue as some companies might take advantages of it and pose unaffordable prices of their commodities. For example, see, if Bharat Biotech gets that particular formula and it tries to sell its own medication from that, what will happen? There will be a lot of price difference. Now you can see with reference to the recent Remdesivir injection, what was the price, what is the actual price, and what is the black market price. Everything you are seeing. So this is with reference to the what you call as Indian Patent Act. It says unaffordable commodities, while on the other hand, some companies might not be able to bring sufficient supplies. Like you can understand this particular thing in this particular pandemic, what actually things is. Now, what are the IPR issues in India in news? With reference to the United Trade Representative USTR highlighted major IPR issues in India. What it is, India still continues to be on USTR's priority watch list along with 10 other countries including China, Indonesia, and Saudi Arabia, etc. While India made changes in the policies to enhance the IP protection, intellectual property protection, and enforcement, but fails on implementing them. You can better understand why these country names are being taken and how it is being implemented. Now the next one, it says these long-standing challenges make US business in India to suffer, as it makes difficult for innovators to receive and maintain patents in the country. So this is with reference to the patent issues in India in news. Now the next one is with reference to the national IPR policy that we are going to study in the next session. I hope you got some idea related to today's topic. If at all, if you have any doubt related to today's session, please ping me at hemant_alitu@radio.com, or you can have a doubt clarification session issue. Thank you for listening to the session. See you in the next class. Thank you.